Welcome everybody to I'm RC, and today I have a very special guest in the house, NXT superfan. You might know her as Daily Girl, or you know her from the hit show The Hot Tag with Izzy. I'd like to welcome Izzy and her dad Cody. Guys, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having us on. We're so excited.
Definitely. I got to give a shout out to Mr. Sammy Miami, who hooked me up with you guys and got this interview. So, yeah, appreciate you guys' time. So, before we start off, guys, definitely, man, he's a good guy. So, you guys are in Florida right now. Catch us up with everything that's going on.
So, Florida, it's nice because most of the gyms near us have opened, and we both have a membership to a gym, so it's nice for us to go and everything. It's kind of like our little escape. But we also have a gym in our garage. It's one portion of the garage is perfect for us. We have kettlebells, we have the bar, we have the plate, we have everything, and it's really perfect for us in case the gym's closed down again. Otherwise, we've been going to Universal. We go to this one place called the District. They're awesome. They have free pinball tournaments every Friday. So we're really living it up. We're trying to keep safe and everything.
We're living it up to the point where we're safe. You know, the mask and everything. Mm-hmm. I think it's become part of the culture. The mask, and it's going to be there for a while.
It's a new fashion scene.
I think the biggest thing that we miss is going to NXT without a doubt.
Yeah, so definitely.
That kind of stinks. We do drive by Full Sail quite a bit, and we'll just pass by and just go, miss it.
It was funny because the other day I got to film the hot tag just in front of Full Sail. It was so eerie and creepy because there was nobody there. It's empty. And it's just weird, and it was nice to be up close to it and everything. I was like, oh, I missed it.
So Izzy, tell the Damage fans a little bit about yourself.
So for everybody that doesn't know me, I really want to become a pro wrestler. I started to watch wrestling at a very young age. My parents introduced it to me. I was like, man, I can really do this. I think I could be in the ring one day. So I started to train at 8. I did very simple workouts. And then I really went full speed. I went into wrestling school. I had my first match when I was 10. And then I had to leave my wrestling school to do that match. And then I got to go into martial arts like MMA, BJJ, and all that fun stuff. And then from there, I just kind of blossomed. A lot of people may know me for being a Bayley fan. I definitely want to branch out and be my own person. I was the Bayley's biggest fan, but now I'm my own person. I'm Izzy, the girl who owns the hot tag. So from everything and from being the Bayley super fan and trading hard and getting my name out there, I now have my own internet show called The Hot Tag that's weekly.
That's awesome. Now, was there a certain match that got you hooked?
Wait, can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Was there a certain match that got you hooked on professional wrestling?
Well, there wasn't really. It was just my parents, they turned on, I want to say it was Monday Night Raw, and I was like, what the heck is this? So I just was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. So we started to watch more. We went to FCW, which later became NXT, and then I was like, man, I really like this. So, I had the John Cena shirt, I had the pink tutu on, it was the perfect outfit. So
yeah, I think she fell in love with it when we started going to FCW. Because they would have that on Thursday nights. I'm sure you got. So if you haven't checked out the special on the WWE Network, but we started going to the old warehouse that they talk about on Dale Mabry, and it was 50 people or less in the building, and she started to really, really fall in love with it, and that's when I was like, yes. I was like, I got a daughter that loves pro wrestling, and so Dad's dream and everything, and then. You buy wrestlers, and we're playing wrestlers when she's a little girl, and then we're going to live events, and then I think when you saw Bayley, the first time at Full Sail when we went to Full Sail, and that was it.
I mean, I saw Bayley, and I was like, oh, I really like her, and then I went to a house show, and I was like, oh man, I love her, and she took a picture of me at the rail, and she posted on Twitter, and she said, this is why I love what I do, and I later found out that that's what she tweeted. And she came out and she gave me a hint, and I was like, oh my god, I love her. Mm-hmm. Yes, get me all the shirts. So I got the Bayley's biggest fan shirts. They're kind of cheesy and really cute at the same time.
Well, like your dad said, it's every dad's dream to have someone interested in what they're interested in. Professional wrestling. I got two boys myself, one 5.5 and one 3.5, and wrestling with them is the highlight of my day every day. Because you get to take your frustrations out, and then also you get to just be a dad, which is awesome. I know you know all about that, Cody, right?
Yep, it's the best feeling in the world.
Now, Cody, what inspired you to become a fan of professional wrestling?
Man, I fell in love with it at 5 years old, and I was like, I don't know, something about it. Hulk Hogan. The first time I saw Hulk Hogan, I was like, this guy is just something magical. Mm-hmm. And I remember my parents brought me home the LJN, Big John Studd and Hulk Hogan figures. And
nice,
man, I started renting the videotapes way before that's how old I am. Videotapes at the video store, and I just rented them every time we went. And I've never looked back. I just love it. You know, I love other sports, you know, football, but all the sports. But this is something about wrestling that just is magical. And I don't know. Every time and it's fun now, and you'll understand this as a dad, like to watch it through your kid's eyes, which is really cool. Because now I'm like reliving all those first moments over with her, and it's like, man, this is cool. Like when I see her like get really excited about a match or really pissed off about a match, I was like, man, I remember being that age and having those same emotions.
Yeah. Or even having like the old figures and then having her play. Like I had the old Dusty and I forgot I had it, and my son was about to slam it down. I'm like, no, I'm gonna take that. You know, because like it's like Dusty, the big boss man, all that. I wish I still had. You probably remember, Cody, the big ones.
Yeah,
the big rubber ones. Remember those?
Yep, those
are the nice ones.
I still have the ones that you're talking about, the Hasbro's, and now it's cool because the new figures are so awesome, and we'll collect those, and it's kind of cool. I get to share that with Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Now, Izzy, take us back to your first NXT show. Talk about the adrenaline you had, and what was one of your favorite highlights? Do you remember?
I would say it's the Full Sail show.
Yeah, I think it's it's the Full Sail one. So the only highlight I remember was actually Bayley versus Eva Marie. Like, Eva Marie, she came out, and I was like, oh, she looks cool. I mean, her hair is red. She does the whole red everything and stuff. And I was like, oh, she's cool. And then Bayley come out, and she was just so energetic, and, like, she kind of reminded me of me. I was like, man, I really like her. She's cool. She looks different. She's not so cookie cutter. So that's really how, like, I kind of fell in love with Bayley. But I know you're asking about NXT. Like, NXT, it was really cool because it wasn't just like, Raw or SmackDown. It was more like, I don't know, like underground-ish. And that's what I really liked about it. It wasn't so perfect and stuff. Like, you had some mistakes going on. So that's really what I liked about NXT.
Now, do you have a favorite NXT superstar?
Ooh. Well, I have so many. Now it's in between two now.
Go, name them.
Okay, so I love Tommaso Ciampa. I've done 2 interviews with him, and he's an absolute great guy, and that's why I truly love him. And he's great in the ring. I love his story and everything. I love Adam Cole. Adam Cole's my absolute favorite.
Baby.
Yes. I'm so sad he lost.
You gotta do it the right way.
I'm so sad he lost, but I'm also happy for Keith Lee. I really like Keith. He's a great dude. I should talk about the woman. I love Tegan Nox. I think she is kind of like the next Bayley. She connects with the crowd. When there was a crowd, she has that comeback story and everything. So I really think she's the true babyface.
Nice. Now, you talked a bit about your first interaction with Bayley. Why are you such a huge fan of hers?
So, like I was saying, she was different than all the women superstars. She didn't come out and, show off her body. She was more like, I don't know, she was, like I said, she was energetic. She was, connecting with the fans. And that's what really got me, I felt relatable to her. She had the headbands. I wore headbands to school. She had the cool and cute gear. I love that. So that's the part that I really fell in love about. And she was also the underdog. That's very relatable to some people, when they're at work, when they're at school, people can relate to being the underdog.
Nice. Now, speaking of school, after all your friends saw you on TV, what was it like that next day going to class?
So Well, most of my friends, they don't really know, but it was funny. Sometimes, like, kids, they find me on social media, like on Instagram and stuff, or sometimes they'll find my YouTube and they'll be like, hey, is this you? And I'm like, yeah, it is. You know, it's like a little weird at first because I don't like showing it off. You know, I like really like getting my name out there, like,
She's like
in
a
the
superhero.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like Superman a little bit.
She's like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Izzy by day, Izzymania by night.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny, but like when it comes to like on social media and like the business, I really want to get my name out there. But when it's like when I'm in school, I'm like I'm more quiet about it. I'll talk to my friends about it and be like, hey, I got this awesome interview.
She'll wear her wrestling shirt.
Yeah, and I'll wear my wrestling shirt. So there's that part.
I actually, so I'm a teacher, so I'll actually get it because some kids watch wrestling, and I usually like I'll pick a day out of the week, like at the beginning of the year, it'll be like a Thursday or maybe even a Friday, and I'll wear a wrestling shirt. And they'll go, oh, you like wrestling? And that's how I connect with the kids, and they're able to like, you know. So I've had kids turn into fans because of how much I've talked about wrestling, or I'll have a poster in my room. And so when we first started going to NXT, a couple of kids had the network, and they're like, man, I saw you. And like they would take screenshots, and then like I was getting Snapchatted and everything. And then the weirdest thing happened was, so we lived near Tampa, and then we moved out to Orlando. And so I started teaching in Orlando. I didn't know anybody in Orlando. I didn't know any kids, any teachers or anything. I was brand new. And a kid's like staring at me, and she goes, I know you. And I go, no, this is literally my first day here working in Orlando. She goes, you're Izzy's dad. And I'm like, and this is a high schooler. And I go, you know my daughter? And she goes, yeah, Bailey versus Sasha Iron Woman match. And she starts going into the whole thing. And then she starts pulling it up on her phone. And she's like, guys, this is his daughter. And she starts pulling up Izzy's social media. And I was like, wow, this is a big thing. And it's like, I came home and I'm like, one of my students knows exactly who you are. And now it's funny because everybody knows how much, you know, Izzy's involvement in training and everything and her journey. And now my students have really started paying attention to her journey. They're like, hey, I saw she did this. Hey, I saw this. Hey, she posted this. I was like, yeah. How was your weekend? Did she have an event this weekend? And I'm like, yeah. So it's kind of cool to see that.
It was funny. Like,
so
one time I posted something on Instagram. The caption was like, when my dad doesn't hit the record button. It was like a picture of me with like a mad face. And like one of his like students like commented, he was like, damn it, Silagyi. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, who is this? And I asked him, he was like, oh, that's my student and everything. He knows
right. Now, Cody, on the same side, you know, you want to encourage her, but you also know the savage side of the business. Do you like have your guard up as well with everything going on?
We've dealt with a lot so far as Izzy. There's as positive as it's been, there's been a lot of negative. And the negative comes from the people that have never seen what she has done before. I'm going to say this, and I hold no punches on this one. Izzy is really like the modern day Ronda Rousey of wrestling. You're going to see little girls, little boys wanting to wrestle at the age of 9 and learn how to wrestle. We've been a big component of kids like not taking giant bumps like Izzy did in the famous chokeslam match, but we've been, it's like youth sports. There's no reason that a kid can't learn how to do a lockup or a headlock. There is a savage side to the business, but we're very supportive, and we teach Izzy from her brand to finances to how to control herself on social media, like what not to post. We have a lot of conversations. So when you see these things on social media going around, we go, well, somebody posted this 4 years ago. They were young and stupid when they posted this comment. This is how it could come back to bite you later on in the years. Even though you're 13, you're not thinking of it now. You got to think 5 to 10 years down the line. So you always conduct yourself like a professional. And she does an amazing job. And even in school,
she does, yeah.
Yeah, I tell her, even in school, like, all the kids are watching you, because you don't want 5 years later, like, oh, I went to middle school with Izzy and she was a complete jerk and she was a bully and this and that. But we tell her, listen, you always have to, and we use a lot of lot of wrestlers, as an example, like the Bella Twins, they hold themselves in a professional manner. They don't. You don't hear about the John Cena's doing ridiculous things. So we always say, be a professional all the time. Like, you are your own brand. You represent you. You represent your parents. Be your brand and represent it to the fullest. And that's how we really prepare. Izzy is probably more prepared than most 18-year-olds that go into the business. Yeah. She's 13 in some aspects. Picking up after herself and cleaning her room. Yeah. But man, she can go in front of a group of adults and speak. And she went to a wrestling school about 2 weeks ago. And all of the coolest compliment I got, not how great her promo was, not how it was, man, she does a great job listening, and that girl can, she's not afraid to go in front of people. And that's the coolest thing. That's how I know she's. Yeah, no, I had a bunch of people came up and shook my hand. They go, your daughter, and that's always the nicest compliment when I get, man, because she's going into an area that is, older people, so she's always going to be looked at. And especially now, 13 wanting to break into this, everybody looks at her, oh, she's just a kid, there's a kid. And when they hop into the ring with her, they go, this isn't just a kid. This is something special. And that's what we truly believe.
Definitely. Now, Izzy, you present yourself very well. And on the flip side, talk about how it is to have such supportive parents backing you up and supporting you.
Oh, it's really cool. For me, it's super awesome because, there's some people who aren't as fortunate, and their parents don't really, they don't allow them to watch wrestling or even pursue it. And I have parents that do, no matter what, if I'm oh, I want to be a doctor now, that's fine. That's cool. That's what I always look back. I'm man, I'm so lucky to be able to do this because my parents are allowing me to do this. That's the part that gets me. I'm man, this is awesome. And it's really cool to share special moments with my parents. When there's somebody going up and there's somebody in NXT and they're about to go up to the main roster, when we're all crying, we'll just look at each other and they're man, we watched some girl up in NXT. That's a special moment. If there's a match we absolutely love, that's a cool moment. So it's awesome for me to have supportive parents. I love being able to share my career with them. For example, working out with my dad. We work out every day together. I started to train my mom because she was hey, I want to get in shape and everything. And I was heck yeah, let's do it. So that's what we've been doing. So that's really cool to share my journey with them and have them be a part of it. That's really cool.
Definitely. Well, talk to us a little bit about the jiu-jitsu that you guys do. And I heard you tried out for your wrestling team as well.
Yes, definitely. So after I had my patch, I went to BJJ and everything. I gave it a try and I was man, this is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Ronda Rousey did it. Brock Lesnar did it. So I think I can do it. So I learned takedowns, I learned arm bars, and I started to do tournaments. I like the tournaments. They're a lot of fun. They're definitely intense. You get super nervous in the morning. And then once you're out there, you're okay, I know what to do. And then I left my old BJJ gym, and at the high school near me, they have this kids club for amateur wrestling. And there's kids my age. It's not just young kids. And I tried it, and I'm the only girl there. And I was no, this isn't bad. I like it.
First year she made it to the state finals, which man, that was eye opening because you got kids. She was fresh meat.
Yeah, I was.
But we were proud of her, and she's in a sport. Amateur wrestling right now in high schools is dominated by boys. Males and boys, and
but it's cool because they just sanctioned for girls wrestling in the 2020 and 2021 year.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah.
They sanctioned it, so girls, it's going to be a sanctioned sport, and she'll be coming to my high school, which I'm so stoked about. So you got a chance to be, the face of the franchise, and
that's awesome.
I'm really excited about it, and all of that. You see Kurt Angle, you see Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Shayna. That's all good stuff. It's funny, she did a couple of drills for the last two seminars she went to, and I was oh, that movement is an amateur wrestling move. There'll be things that I'll see and I'll go, that's an amateur wrestling move. You could legit do that on the mat, in tournaments.
It was cool because recently Alundra Blayze, she said, "Hey kids, you can have my signature move. You can do the German."
I heard.
Yeah, that was definitely like a super special moment. Like I can't even put into words how like, oh my god, that felt to me. So we were like talking, we were like, that's an amateur wrestling move. Like I've seen it done on the mat, and I was like, man, I imagine how cool it would be if I would just pull that out in a tournament and just suplex somebody. I've always wanted to do it, so
Nice.
it doesn't hurt to get
A little angle slam out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
So how did the whole thing with Medusa come about? That's pretty cool.
That was like out of nowhere.
Well, Alundra, she really like. I think she just started to see my stuff.
So after Izzy's match, the promotion, there was a lot of backlash from it with Effie. So there was a lot of backlash. So they needed her to drop the title. And I remember they called us and they were like, they wanted to do these ridiculous ways of dropping the title from a video game, like just the most ridiculous that made zero sense.
Yeah.
So I got annoyed and I go, we'll just throw it in the trash.
And
literally, there's a promo.
We found this alleyway near us, and we took some cool pictures right before I threw it out.
And she cut this ridiculous promo that you find on her Twitter, and threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Alundra started like tweeting and goes, "Why isn't this get signed?" And we were all like blown away. And I'm like, and my wife's a huge Alundra fan. Like, you know, Izzy was like
we've met for very briefly.
Really in passing.
Yeah, at the Mae Young Classic, we were coming from the Ale House, which is right next to the Wholesale, and like I saw Rachel Ellering, and she was like, "Oh, hi, Izzy," and then here comes Alundra walking out, and she's like, "Oh, this is Medusa." My mom was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god, it is her," but I wasn't like my mom. Like my mom was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
That was very brief, and then just like as they grew, mainly from
Twitter. We were really hoping this year at WrestleCon to meet her and do an interview with her. And I'm sure, you know, down the road we're gonna have that opportunity. And it's pretty cool. And and I tell Izzy all the time, man, you don't even know that that is the biggest tip of the hat that somebody gives you.
But like the suplex, it was from this little girl. She did the suplex with this big stuffed animal. It was perfect. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. And then Alundra, she wrote something about how women wrestlers, they should practice it or something. And then she tagged me. She said, "Hey Izzy, I wouldn't mind you doing my suplex now." And I DM'd her right away, and I said, "Hey, how any pointers?" And she.
And so we're doing.
I don't want to reveal any pointers yet.
Yeah, we're not revealing anything, but just so Izzy owns the move. No, we actually. It's funny. We've actually curved some of her training towards doing the movements and to like weight training, because to do that move, you got to be in shape and you have to be strong, and you have to. And if Izzy's gonna do it and live up to the Alundra, you know, hype and you know, man, it's got to be perfect. So we're clanging and banging in the gym, as the Rock would say.
Nice. Well, you got to keep me updated. Izzy, on completely damaged. Let us know the updates on that.
Oh yeah, we'll be doing little updates.
Nice. Now, I know at a young age, 13, what was the best piece of advice that you've received so far?
Oh my god, I've received a lot.
I would say I would say the best advice was given from Sandman.
Oh wow!
Yes, Sandman.
Yeah,
and in his raspy voice, he looked at Izzy and he goes, "Izzy, you don't gotta be a good wrestler. You gotta be a great character."
Yeah,
and he started rattling off characters like Hogan, The Undertaker. He goes, even myself. He goes, we weren't great wrestlers. And he goes, but we were good characters. And that's the truth. Like sports entertainment. Hey, anybody could do a 450 splash off the top rope. You know, there's guys that do that. There's, you know, body slam's a body slam. It's all those little things in between that makes it great. You know, you go, I love Hulk Hogan. He's my favorite wrestler. But if you go back and watch it, it's like, you know, punch, kick, clothesline to the corner. You know, it was all the little stuff that made.
Well, we're on the anniversary of when Hulk Hogan turned on everybody.
Yes, the NWO, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think that was probably the best advice she got. And, Alundra has really given her a ton of advice. And I would say the other one is Tommaso.
Oh.
Tommaso gave her, after an interview, it was really personal and it was really, really cool. And I even thanked him. I said, as a dad, I thank you for saying what you said to her. Because it was really, he spoke to her like she was like an equal and like she was like she was in the PC, and we walked away and we were all like, wow. And it was really cool. So he's been a really big positive impact on Izzy. Tommaso is one of those guys that, man, he's a once in a lifetime guy that you meet and you go, yeah, he's special. And and as a dad, I go, man, that's cool that you would pass that information and everything.
Yeah,
definitely.
And like I've gotten advice like through my journey, and like I always keep it, like I always get the one where it's like, keep your head straight, don't focus on the stupidity and stuff, it really doesn't matter. And I've gotten that, and that really has stuck with me. So but what he said, Sandman and Tommaso, and then also Alundra, those are some really good.
Well, I gotta say, Cody, your impression of the Sandman, spot on.
He's amazing.
I interviewed him back in 2008, and we had a big camera, the light was on, and he was like, the light, gotta turn that down, man. Like straight, like right in the interview. And I was like, where do I go from this?
It was funny because Izzy went up to him the next year at WrestleCon, and he's like, I don't remember you.
Oh.
I was like, and Bully Ray actually did the introduction. And so I was like, this is amazing. And he's just like, how do you not remember me? You had a whole conversation with me. Yeah. And I go, it's the Sandman.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, people, like, Izzy, I give you tons of credit because people don't understand being an interviewer. Like, they think that you have like a half an hour of preparation for this. But, like for myself, I know when I go to conventions, I don't know who I'm interviewing until 2 or 3 minutes right before. Mm-hmm. So, like, when people say, oh, RC, you have such standard questions, it's because you need to have a set of questions so then you're ready for it. Like, people don't want to hear me talk. They want to hear about your journey, what inspired you, some of your favorite matches. So do you watch other interviews and get tips from other people?
So one person I absolutely love is Alicia too. She interviewed me, and I really look up to her. Her interviews are truly amazing. And when I was watching her, I was like, man, she's really done her research. She asked me this one question, and in my Twitter bio, I said I like something like I love pizza and everything. And she said to me, she asked me, she was like, in your Twitter bio, you said you love pizza. What type of pizza do you love? And I was so caught off guard because, like, that was the little thing. Like, you really could tell that she did her research. So, I feel like doing your research really, like, works. That's for me. Like, research and everything. And then sometimes if you know the person, you can kind of, like, it's, like, for example, when I had an interview, like my second interview, Tommaso Ciampa, I was like, okay, I know this guy. I know how he functions. I've seen him wrestle. I've met him thousands of times. Like, this is normal. I mean, when I meet somebody for the first time, you definitely have those nerves. But once you get into it, you kind of calm down and you're like, okay.
Actually, Ciampa was her first ever interview. So it was funny to see the first one, and then the second one. The first one, she was like...
The first one was so bad. It
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
For me, it was looking like... Because I started, I was like, hey guys, it's Izzy. I met Tommaso Ciampa. I don't know, I'm on first signing. And I was like, why did I give, like, the whole location? Like, I should have just gave the street. Like,
it was one of those things.
My address is,
She literally shot her shot. And she was like...
we were talking about it, and we were like, that wouldn't be bad, This would be cool.
And then she was like, can we get an interview? And he was like it was so nonchalant. He was like, yeah, sure, let's go. He's like, you want to do this now? And then she was like...
Yeah, and it was like some deep, I don't know, as they call it, what do they say? Some deep, some deep tea. That's in some tea.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, the tea.
Yeah, the first one, that was
the
when...
The tea was in there.
That was when, and that was the coolest thing about Tommaso. Like, he gave her the rub.
Because it was
when,
night right before NXT went live on the US.
And that was that rumor that he was coming back from the neck injury and everything. And he gave this whole thing and hit the dirt sheets, which was really cool. Because it really put the show on the map.
And
for
he
her.
was saying how
He's like,
there was going to be a big chance that he would be back in the ring, and
but
everything.
just not right away. It was really cool. He goes, "This is an exclusive," and that was.
And then he actually came out to the ring the next night. I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he came out, yeah.
But he didn't wrestle, but like it was so cool because I was like, man, I got the answer. Nobody else did. Like, that was my answer for my show.
I was in the same boat because I interviewed Terry Funk right before he got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
And afterwards, like, he was just thinking of what he wanted to say. Then afterwards, he's like, you better not air this until next week. I'll find you. And I was like, Mr. Funk, I swear, I'll wait a year. Yeah, I'll wait a year. Because it was me and the original Hat guy from ECW.
Yeah.
He's my friend, and he does interviews with me. Mm-hmm. And he was there with me, and he's like, yeah, you might not want to air that until next week. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, and then it didn't even get on TV, his interview. So it was like one of those things. It was such a great interview, and so you get like that. Like, I understand that, getting that full scoop and having that information that no one knows, and you just like, you want to tell somebody. So I understand how you were feeling.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a little bit and talk a bit about that Iron match that you were talking about, that Bayley and Sasha, and being a part of it. How was that, looking back at it now?
Man, it's so cool because a lot of people, they ask me, like, how did it feel and everything. So I had no clue that was happening. I had no clue Sasha was going to rip the headband off of me and everything. When I always, like, ask myself, I'm always like, why did I cry? I don't know if I was scared that she was going to break the headband, because to me the headband was, like, legendary. It was like the little gold thing in Indiana Jones. Like, that was like that. She took it off. I sobbed. But the cool part was, after the match, they gave both Bayley and Sasha these huge bouquets of flowers. They were gorgeous. And Sasha walks over to me, fist bumps me, and gives me this ginormous bouquet of flowers that's like bigger than my whole body. And we actually still have some of the flowers.
We have the dried roses.
Yeah, we have the dried roses.
So it was like, and I have the
ribbon
that held everything together. So
yeah, it was such a cool moment, and I honestly think it really was kind of the stone to my whole career. Like, without that moment, I honestly don't think I would have been where I am today. I mean, I definitely think if I continued to work hard, I would still be here. But I
think it was that moment that, like, that moment was really intense. And as a fan, I knew it was going, like, after the bow was ripped off, and it was funny because Izzy was sitting next to Bailey's dad and Bailey's stepmom, and we actually, me and my wife, moved down because it was Bailey's dad's, like, first time seeing her live in NXT. So we were like, man, you got to get the front row seat. Like, you got to both sit you next to Izzy. And they were like, no. But there was, like, literally 2 extra seats that they put there to, like, fill, with whoever. And so when Izzy started crying, literally, Bailey's dad just handed her off to me and was like, and I took Izzy, and there's the famous shot of Izzy crying in my arms. And my wife's cursing. The part that nobody had ever seen was my wife is cursing up a storm at Sasha, and I go, chill, she's in character. And so, because literally it's one of those, and I didn't know what to do because I knew the cameras were on me.
Yeah.
Like, as a fan, I'm going, this is the coolest moment.
Right.
That's like, this is the coolest moment. Then as a dad, I'm like,
or do I want dinner tonight? Yeah.
I'll send my wife over. Come on, Sasha, let's go.
Yeah, right.
But then afterwards, my buddy, we were walking out, and he goes, you understand that your daughter was part of the biggest moment in wrestling history. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't think of it, and I still was like, it was cool, but it was a little bit intense, and I feel bad for her. And then it was funny because some of the NXT guys and, significant others of NXT wrestlers came up to us, and they go, does she want to do this? And I go, well, of course she wants to do this. Every 8-year-old wants to be a wrestler. Yeah. And, like, I just didn't give it much thought. And then that's when Izzy came to me at 9 and was like, I want to do this. And that's one of the moments that definitely, it's cool. It's cool to look back on. We were showing people at our 4th of July party that don't watch wrestling. And they were looking at all the memorabilia in the room, and we were starting to explain to them the significance of, like, the bow, because we have the bow in, like, a case now.
Yeah. It's retired.
Nice. It's retired. It's retired forever.
Nice. So, talk to me about a little bit about what inspired you to have a YouTube show.
Oh, what was my first video?
Why not? I'm joking. Make some money. No,
there was also
there was the YouTube.
You know, first of all, like you were saying, like making money. That's like good because I can't go like get a job right now, obviously.
Right.
So like, there's also that part, but I'm definitely not in it for the money. I love doing YouTube videos. I definitely want to put more out because what was your first one?
I think your first one was like an unboxing of something, of a Wrestle Crate or something, and then she did one that kind of like flew off. It was like like meeting wrestlers.
So there was one where it's like tips and tricks to meet wrestlers and like going to the shows early. It was that video was so bad.
I think it was bad. We look back on it, it's terrible. But it was good. It was good back then.
I was so scared to talk very loud because we lived in a townhouse and I was scared to scream.
I don't know why. And now we still live in a townhouse and now we're just like yelling. Like, nice. I think, and the other angle was we knew, I knew that she couldn't do the physical part at 9 years old, 10 years old, but you could do the talking part. And the talking part is 90% of what wrestling is. If you're a good talker, everybody's favorite wrestler is a good talker, from Kevin Owens to CM Punk to whoever, Alexa Bliss, Sasha
Joey
Banks.
Styles. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're a good talker, you can make it. So I was like, all right, we'll get used to being on camera. And that's what she did. And we started doing these YouTube. And then she started liking it more. And then...
we took a break for like a little bit. And then
it was tough.
We posted one and it was like, I posted my Monster Factory vlog when I went up for 1 week, and I really enjoyed that one because I felt like a vlogger. I love watching vlogs and everything. So like that was kind of cool. I felt like a part of you too. I do the WrestleMania ones and everything. So that's like I love doing YouTube because it's something different. It's not like we're on social media. You can only post like a little bit of like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like you can do a whole video, like a whole movie about what you're doing. So that's what I really like about it.
And I think it's cool to look back on it. Even we joke about the first video being the worst video, but one day one day we're gonna look back on it and go, oh my gosh. It's funny. Kiera Hogan of Impact, she posted a video that she did when she was like 16 to 17, where she was saying why the TNA knockouts were better than the WWE Divas. And it was kind of cool.
Okay.
And we were both looking at it because you could see like a passionate, like 16, 17-year-old about it. And she even looked at it and was like, I still feel this way. And it's cool to see the progression. It's always, and that's the coolest thing. I take a lot of video of Izzy just so we could see her progression from weightlifting to everything. It's all about looking back and going, okay, I'm further along than I was.
Yeah. I get that because my wife always laughs at me. When I first started, I had the backwards hat and the shirt on. Now, when I do interviews, usually I have the tux on, the hair combed and all that. So it's like you just gotta learn yourself and learn your character and learn where you want to go with it.
Yep,
definitely.
So, talk a little about Bayley's heel turn. Were you mad, happy?
So I kind of knew this was happening. We kind of got like the tidbit for a few weeks. I like the whole beginning where she came out with the hoodie and everything. Then she cut down the inflatables. I really liked that part because it was really like, this is me. Like I'm done with everything. And I don't like the haircut. The haircut gets worse every single week. It's so bad. It's a soccer mom. It's the mom that's complaining at the PTA meeting at school. It's so bad. The other part, I don't like her theme song. I don't like it. It's a lot of people say it's like The Rock.
It is. It's a little bit of the.
I feel like there could have been something a little bit different or better. Like I feel like WWE could have cooked something up a little.
I like the lovable, huggable Bayley.
I definitely miss like the face, but I feel like she's doing a really good job for being a face for X amount of years, very long time, and now she's going into heel. I feel
like she could have really been the female Cena. I said this all along, man, because I used to see, little kids. It was so cool how many little kids were in NXT, and like you just her. It reminded me of like a 1980s pop for Hogan, like when she used to come out, like every little girl, every little boy, like, and it was cool. And then guys were in it, like everybody loved it. It really reminded me of that 1980s baby face with her, and I just feel like I
remember at one of the house shows, it was right before NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2. She had a match, she won, and then she got all the little girls who had like some sort of Bailey outfit on, and we took this huge picture. It's actually one of my favorites. I love this picture.
Yeah.
It's just adorable.
And that's when I look at my life and I go, holy crap, this girl's gonna be like ginormous. And then I think things went in a different direction for her.
Also, like, her sayings are way too cheesy. Like the ding dong thing. I can't. We did it in the car today, and we were like ding dong. It's so bad.
And I don't want to say anything, but after she left NXT and there was no Izzy in the front row, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Things change.
Yeah.
Things change. You need that tag team partner.
Yeah.
They were like the Dudley Boys.
Right. Now, what's it like to be a role model for all these young kids out there? Being a kid yourself.
Oh, it's really cool. I go on Instagram Live, and I'll go live with some people, and it's like awesome to hear what they say. They always say, "Oh man, you're such an inspiration. Thank you so much." That really hits home for me. It means the world, because it's crazy to think that a 13-year-old is admired by like a younger person. That's the part that I really get. And then when people start crying when they meet me, like that's the other part. Like that's the part that I really love. I
always tell Izzy it's an absolute privilege. Treat it like a privilege. So you're a 13-year-old, like you haven't accomplished anything, and I tell her that all the time. Like as much as she has accomplished, man, we're just getting started on this journey. Like one of the coolest moments, and we were both crying in the parking lot of Full Sail. Was this lady that came up to us in a wheelchair, and she had cancer, and she was so like nervous to meet Izzy. I have no idea why. And she said, "I've always wanted to meet you." And so Izzy was like, "Oh, well, it's nice to meet you." And they started talking. She goes, "When I was going through chemo, I would watch your videos every single day, and it made me happy." And I was like, I walked away because I was like, I'm gonna start bawling. And then Izzy, they talked. I
miss her so much. Like I absolutely love her.
And
she's so funny.
I looked at Izzy and I go, "That's a woman that was literally facing death, and she watched your videos and they made her happy." That's the impact. And I said, "You're gonna have that impact, and that's why there's so much pressure, and there's so much you got to go into the gym, and you got to do everything right, and you gotta, because
I want to make those people really happy and proud, and I want them to say, man, I'm so happy I got to watch her journey. Like I don't regret this at all. Like I don't want to be a flop one day and everybody be like, why did I even watch her journey? Like this was nothing. Like I don't want that to happen. Like I definitely want to do this all for that lady.
Yeah, it's very cool. That's why we use that for motivation when we're in the gym, we're training. There's those days, even to like today, we weren't feeling it, but you go, man. There's that one person that's depending on me to go and train, to go and do a video, to go and practice, because one day I'm going to be on a bigger stage, and that's really the big picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that when you have ups and downs, and when you are down, you have that kind of advice and have that kind of motivation that makes you want to pick yourself back up and continue your journey.
Very true.
And having people like support you that that don't have to support you. Like I know for me, like Gilbert, Mike McGurk, who you probably know, Cody, people like that reach out to me and say, "Keep doing what you're doing. You do a fantastic job." When I could be doubting myself that day, but I'd be like, "Wow, she watches my stuff."
Yep.
And it's like one of those things that.
Yeah, whenever we post a YouTube video, like when I'm doing the editing for Izzy, and like I put it up there, and I go, man, I know she's watching. I know she's, it's really heartwarming. It's really.
It is.
Now take us back, Izzy, to that infamous chokeslam. I think what was it? The Punk Pro Wrestling, was it?
Yeah.
When you won. Yeah, you had a little bit of criticism, and but you handled it like a champ. Talk a bit about that.
So, for Okay, so I remember a few years before the whole match, I was the special guest.
Yeah, it was about a year before the match.
I was like the special guest, like for the match.
Timekeeper.
Yeah, timekeeper or whatever. And it was just like anybody can run into this match, and Effie happened to be in this match. So he throws everybody out, and he's in the ring, he's doing his whole thing, and then I slide in, and I'm like gonna go for a hug. You know, I had the side ponytail and everything, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, give me a hug," and then I kicked him right in the face. I tried.
I saw that. Yeah.
Kicked out, but I was very close to winning my first title. And then a few years later, he was.
A year.
Yeah, he shot the first shot, and he did like this little promo, and I was like, okay, I see how it is. And I cut another promo, and we just went back and forth, and we were like, hey, let's just do the match. And it was really hard to just get a match started because I was a young girl fighting a grown man.
She was, and the thing was, she was training for about 4 months. Prior to the match.
Yeah, so this wasn't like anything.
This wasn't like, hey, let's get her in the ring.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This
get her done.
And that's what, unfortunately, the internet put out there. That like this was this little, the Bailey girl. And they had the match and
No, we were talking about what we were gonna do right before the match, and like he was like, "Do you mind taking a chokeslam?" And I was like, "Yeah." You know, I've never taken that big of a bump before, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. We didn't practice it at all. We just went over the basics in the ring. You know, we were just, what we're gonna do. We practiced this DDT that I've practiced before the match.
The stunner and everything. Couple of big spots they practiced.
Yeah, that was really it. We did not practice the chokeslam. So I came out, I did my thing. And then we started off the match. He did a promo, but I don't understand why nobody really realized this. He slapped me in the face,
which was probably bigger. And and I'll be honest, after the match, we were Effie goes, "Man, I'm gonna catch so much heat for that slap." And because literally, and he did it so well. Like
it was so good.
I don't want to break kayfabe.
Yeah. No, but he
you're breaking kayfabe.
Yeah.
And then
cut.
But also to add, Leva Bates was
in the
on
match
my team too, so it wasn't like I was taking all the bumps. So we start the match, do some little things, and then I get chokeslammed. It hurt for a little bit. That was just the soreness. It wasn't like I need to go to the hospital.
She kicked at her too.
Yeah, I wasn't
nice,
like I need to go to the hospital. Like I think I pulled something. It wasn't like that. It was just hurt for a second, and I felt super safe because if you notice in the video, his knees hit the mat first and not my body. So that's the part that nobody really saw. We continued the match. Leva took a portion of it, then I took the other portion, and then I won. I won the Internet Championship. It was an awesome moment. I cried, but the whole moral of the story was my promo at the end. I said
wrestling's for everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you love, what you believe in. Wrestling's for everybody. So that was the whole point of the match, because there was a lot of hatred towards hatred towards a kid fighting a dude, a kid. Just a kid being in wrestling, and the whole that was supposed to be the viral moment was when she won, but unfortunately they took a 10-second clip and they turned it into, instead of, you watch the whole match, and the whole match is really, it tells a story. And I knew about the chokeslam prior to the match. However, we never tell my wife anything, so she'll be like, she told me, and so I was like, I said, do you want to know what's going to happen in the match? And so my wife was like, don't tell me anything. I was like, okay, that's fine. It was so cool because all my family and friends were there and everything. My childhood wrestling friend was there. My grandparents were there. It was really cool.
It was cool. It was definitely a cool moment. And then I knew as soon as my phone started blowing up afterwards, I was like, I was like, oh,
but
boy.
I didn't realize the blowing up because this match took place in a mall, and I was walking around this closed mall taking pictures with the title in like the photo booths. I was on like the little carousel, like I was.
Let's do it in front of J.C. Penney, and now Toys R Us.
And everybody was going wild on social media.
Yeah, everybody was going wild on social media. You know, the fallout from it was probably, I don't want to say the worst thing. It was ridiculous. And I think a lot of it had to do with Izzy's age and being a girl.
Mm-hmm.
People that trained her for the match turned their backs on Izzy.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons that she had to leave her wrestling training. You know, backlash from people that she looked up to. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, like WWE superstars.
Yeah.
It was sad, but she has a great support system, and me and my wife. And we looked and we said, okay, and we live by this. You know, nobody's going to tell us, you know, how to parent our child. And I knew that Izzy, you know, and I did a bunch of, it was funny because I did a bunch of interviews after the match, and they thought it was like some sort of publicity stunt. And I said, what's the difference between pro wrestling and Pop Warner football? What's the difference between pro wrestling and ice hockey? What's the difference between pro wrestling and BJJ? And it was funny because after she transitioned over to BJJ, I mean, these kids were like literally cranking arms, like breaking leg up. I mean, there was kids that were breaking arms.
I saw a kid like that was thrown on his head.
Yeah,
it was
like
terrible. It
was. I mean, same bumps and everything, and I'm like, these kids are out for blood. I'm like, these are like 10-year-olds. So it was like that I struggled with.
It was. The weird part for me was when I started BJJ, nobody really said anything. There wasn't like, man, that's really unsafe, but for the fake, not like breaking kayfabe, for the fake stuff, like the fake wrestling, that wasn't okay. That's the part I really didn't get.
That was, and then I still don't get. We still don't get it. Even when she trains now, she catches flack from people, and I'm like, bro, she was in a state.
It's very minimal. It's nice now because I don't see it at all. I don't know.
And I think the when she transitioned over to BJJ and amateur wrestling, I think that legitimized her because it was cool because when we went to WrestleMania in New York, a lot of the WWE guys, it was cool. Like Big E was like, man, I saw you transition over to MMA.
Kyle, I love Undisputed. Like I love them, and Kyle O'Reilly said, I saw the Americana you did on that kid, and that was my first win at one of my tournaments.
Alistair was like, I saw you crank that kid's arm.
And I was like, oh my god. Especially with Kyle O'Reilly, because, you know, I love them. So I was like, oh my god,
So it was cool. It was cool to see that now she's like a legitimate thing. And that's, you know, she's training and, you know, awesome. There's no questions asked at this point. I'm like, we're in it. They gotta accept that you're here or too bad. So sorry, you know, you're going to be dealing with her in about like when she's 18 in like 5 more years.
Yeah,
it's gonna be bad.
Now, talk to us about your drive to Paulsboro, New Jersey, for the world famous Monster Factory.
So it was awesome because I heard a little bit of things about Monster Factory. I heard and I was like, oh, sounds awesome, sounds legit. You know, they have really good guys that have come out of there. Matt Riddle. Damien Priest, like all that.
Cutler.
Yes, yeah. So they DM'd me and they were like, hey, we'd love to have you and everything. And I was like, yeah, why not?
And she comes to me, she goes, do you think we can go to New Jersey? And I'm like, I've never been to New Jersey.
Let's go.
New York most of my life. And I was like, and then I'm like, we have to live in New Jersey for like a week. I'm like, I don't even know where this place is. So
we drove up. We booked the hotel, and we stayed in a hotel for a week. And then I got to go to one of their shows. It was actually the night before Extreme Rules. It was awesome. I got to meet Danny Cage, who is the owner of Monster Factory. That was amazing. He's such a cool dude.
Yeah, he is.
I love him.
I met some of the kids who were going to be in the summer camp that day. One of them is my best friends. And then the next night I went to Extreme Rules, and then Monday we started the whole camp. The first day it was really about like why do you love wrestling, like all that stuff. And then our homework was to watch Monday Night Raw and put a promo on somebody, and I decided to choose Roman Reigns. Out of all the people I could have chosen, I was like, no, Roman Reigns.
Nice.
I took the promo, and then the rest of the summer camp was really like moves and everything. Headlock takeovers. But the cool part for me was there was two other boys. They were pretty advanced. They were at the summer camp the year before, and I was pretty advanced. So they took the three of us. They put us in the ring. And we did more of the advanced stuff like headlock takeovers. We did like different roll-ups and everything. But the rest of the camp, they were doing like the basics. But they all unified us. They didn't like separate us. They did like a pizza party like after they gave us lunch after every camp. Actually, Sammy, he made this awesome little intro video of all the kids. We did like this cool I did one punching. One kid, he did his own little entrance. It was really cool. They made us really feel like superstars, and that's what I really enjoyed about it.
And the last day.
And then the last day was they did a little show, and the family and friends of the kids, they came. And it was really fun because it was my first match with forever, and
not just the first match. She had to fight Royal.
I did.
And
Royal.
So she was the main event with Royal. And for those that are watching this that don't know Royal, look up Royal.
Yes.
Royal is a bad man. I'm not gonna
He's
lie.
this close, man, to getting to that next level. He's right there. He has all the tools.
He is, man. If I could bring Royal down to Florida and have him train Izzy, she'd be.
But during the camp, I posted a video of me taking a suplex on this thick crash pad.
Giant crash.
It was this big. So of course everybody has to crawl out of their cave and say something.
And we won't say his name because we don't want to give him that much credit. I don't know. Here, I'll give the hint. He's a fake model. He went from the main roster back to development. That should tell you enough.
Okay.
And he has another partner that also is in. He's like the fashion police guy.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about. Yep.
So he made a tweet, and then some guy that will never invite us to a lucha house party decided to chime in.
I know.
And so that's the type of stuff that Izzy always gets.
And that I didn't really care because I've gone through it, but it was definitely annoying because I was like, man, just look at the crash pad. I clearly got up. Every single kid went through it. There was this very short kid. He took a suplex. This was completely.
You could have jumped off the top of the building onto it.
So I didn't really care, but the cool part was there was a lot of backstories going into that match. So Royal was prepping me. He was like, "Don't listen to them. You got it." And I was definitely nervous because I was more thinking about would Danny would he like me? Would I be the right fit for his school when I come in? That's where I was getting super nervous. And I actually never told you that.
No, you didn't. This is an exclusive.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
No, legit. I was like, man, I'm super scared. Is he going to like me? Am I he looks like a super tough coach. I don't think I'll be good enough. And so I had the match. At the end, I was really sad to leave because I was I was going away. And then I beat Royal. All the kids that came out and everything. But I was walking back and Royal started to cut a promo. And so I grabbed one of the microphones from the back, and so I cut this promo. It was just it's not scripted.
It was all hard.
It was hard. I was sobbing in it. I named the people who caused backlash. I named them. I was like, this dude, this guy, this dude. I said all of that. But it was really cool because when I got to the back, everybody was sobbing. I was sobbing.
And I think one of the coolest moments at the camp was when Royal gave her some very raw Royal type advice. And you
need that though.
It was, and Sammy posted it on Twitter, and it was really, really special. And Royal used some language that I love. And he said, you told your mom first time you stepped in this ring that you belong here, and you belong here. And he said, bleep what they think. Yeah. And it was one of the truest and best advice. Yeah, actually, I don't want to skip over on Royal that one. That, you know what? That was probably one of the best advice that he gave. Besides, some of the other one of those that we named, Royal, without a doubt. And Royal has made and we've become more than just, oh, he was a coach to her. Royal's like family. Royal's somebody that I call an emergency. If he needs to speak to somebody, Royal's one of those dudes, and he's all heart. I love that guy. I truly mean that with all my heart. Like, awesome dude.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel the same way about the Monster Factory, because that's my NXT in a way, because up here, that's where you go if you want the best training. That's where you go if you want to get free information, because basically he invites me up to do my interviews there. Just come on up, RC, you got it, man. And Danny is a straight shooter. He loves to lowball me at the end of the interview just to make me just to laugh. Yeah. But if you look at youtube.com/completely-damaged, I did a documentary when the interviewer actually tries professional wrestling for a day. So I, being 38 years old, I know I look young, but I for 2 months straight, I was training, running, jogging, because I know, I saw other people go to the camp before, and not be in shape and not really take it seriously. Yep. So taking those bumps, getting filmed and doing that promo, I knew that was my strong point, and I knew I had to go over strong. So I remember just, saying, don't keep it nice and neat, ladies and gentlemen, keep it completely damaged. I made sure to check off who I interviewed. I went total heel, and it was such a great feeling because, getting his sign of approval and that, good job, kid. Yeah. That he means it, so.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Izzy,
also the bittersweet part was Danny had to go down to the Performance Center. He was a guest trainer for a couple of days, and he wasn't able to stay for the full camp. And that really sucked, but I was super happy that he had that opportunity because he really deserved it, and he's such a great coach. I definitely look up to him. I absolutely love him, and I really want to train with him one day, work with him, and learn from him.
So, past or present, who's one female superstar that you would love to get in the ring with in the future?
Okay. I'm laughing at this one because I got two in my head.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I'll start with present.
I know
present, I want to say. I want to say this person because
Ooh, no, you got to say the one that everybody wants to sing.
Oh.
No.
No,
you know what the WrestleMania main event is? Yeah.
Okay, well, there's two there's two presents. Okay, I'll start with the past. I'll just start with the past because the presents are right up today. Past, there's two people. Okay. So first of all, Alundra, I know she me and her quotes on social media, but imagine how cool that would be. I was the kid, I was her student, she was my mentor, and now they're fighting. Kind of like Star Wars, not gonna lie. I think she's really the one that I would wanna. And then
present.
Let's just get this one out of the way. Chelsea Green. I really want to fight her.
Alright.
And then the other one is Bailey. The super fan versus the idol. That's
right.
Really it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say somebody else.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna say that other one.
No.
No. Okay.
I don't want to.
So, Izzy, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. There's a fatal 4-way right now. Mystic Man's right behind me. He says, Izzy, cut her promo right now. Fatal 4-way. You, Alundra, Chelsea, and Bailey. The floor is yours.
Oh, no. Okay. I got it.
Lights, camera, action.
Alrighty. So I know all of you, you've seen me grown up. You've watched me mark out for all of you. But I'm different. I'm not like that anymore. I am more serious. Alundra, your time is up. You're just an old woman in a monster truck. Chelsea Green, you can't even put on lipstick to begin with. And finally, Bailey. We've all been waiting for this moment, and I'm here to take your spot. Oh, and can I add one more person to the next?
Keep going.
No.
That was kind of bad, but you know.
Well, let me put Cody on the spot. Cody, who's your dream match?
Dream match. I'm out of shape by this one. Dream match. Oh, like if I was like an actual wrestler?
Yeah, you're an actual wrestler. Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be the Hulk.
It's gotta be the NWO Hulk or the red and yellow.
I'll take any of them. I'll take either or. The Hulk is the Hulk. It's
okay.
You know, man, I love both of them. Hollywood and you know, the real American.
Can I put you on the spot to cut a promo?
Oh no.
Oh.
I would never.
You can't even. He's right behind you.
Yeah, see, that's how much I love the Hulk.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So, Izzy, I got to ask you, you love pizza. What do you love to put on your pizza? Do you like pepperoni?
So there's an amazing place I don't know if it's just in Florida. It's called Blayze Pizza. We go to Disney Springs. There's one like a little closer to us, and you get to make your own pizza. So I love margarita pizza, you know, with the basil, the tomatoes, the fresh mozzarella. I love that. And then I love barbecue chicken pizza with the chicken and the barbecue sauce. That's on me. That's really what I love. I need to start getting into pizzas that have veggies. Well, I like the one at Universal.
Yeah, the whole wheat
At
pizza.
Universal, it's called the Meat Haters. It's in the Simpsons area. It has tomato, mushroom, peppers, and it's on a whole wheat crust thing. Dough.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dough. Well, maybe get your own cooking show, chopping it up with Izzy.
Never know.
You never know. That would be fun.
Yep. Now, do you have a favorite Netflix show or favorite video game?
So I was just thinking about this. So I absolutely love Stranger Things. It's one of my favorite shows. I got to go to Stranger Things Con up in Atlanta. I met almost all of the cast. I met my celebrity crush, Noah Schnapp. I love him. I met Millie Bobby Brown. She plays 11. I met Caleb McLaughlin. He plays Lucas. I met Eric, Priya Ferguson. She plays Erica. I met almost everybody there.
I'm broke.
Yeah, I bet.
It was an awesome Christmas gift. And the cool part was we got to go to like all the sites that they filmed at, like the arcade, the mall, and everything. But also during quarantine, I watched Tiger King. I'm obsessed with it. I love Joe Exotic. I love that show.
Terrible.
One of our friends, she sent me a birthday gift. She got me the shout out to Rock'em Socks. I love them. Check them out, guys.
Random.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But our friend, she got me the Rock'em Socks, Tiger King socks. There's Joe Exotic, and then there's the hey, all you cool cat and kittens. And then there's a Dr. Seuss mug. That's Joe Exotic. But that's really what I've been grooming. I also play video games. You know, I'm a huge fan of Animal Crossing, Horizons. I switch. But that's it. That's really it.
Do you have someone, whether wrestling or entertainment-wise, that you love to interview?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Triple H. Duh. He's the one, like, I've gotten super close, like, on one of the first, on, like, the Wednesday Night Wars. They set up the big stage and everything out front of Full Sail, and he was there, and I was super close to getting to him, but they, he went right inside. It was like, he said hi, he waved at me. It was just, matter of time. I was super sad, but one day.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice. Now, what's your goals now for the rest of 2020 and going into 2021?
Ooh.
To not die. No,
yeah, right? I know, seriously.
It's kind of hard because everything's on a pause right now, but you still want to keep on going. Definitely, I want to somehow, get on WWE Network. I want to do interviews at WrestleMania when they're in LA. Like, I really want to do that. Like,
I think we're planning more towards 2021. We know 2020 is shot, and I told her at the beginning of this pandemic, I said, this thing's going to end. Then we'll see who's ready to go at the end of it and who's not. You be ready to go, and that's why we're still doing the hot tag. And
like, I would definitely love my own show on the network. Now, I think there's a big possibility because I honestly don't think they have that. They don't cater to kids. Like, they don't have that type of show. You know,
shoot your shot.
Yes.
But
you know, I'm a teen, and like, I honestly think I can relate to kids because I'm also a teen and a young person. So I feel like that would be a good financial business option.
Business opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think for 2020, the goal is, just get stronger, work out in the gym, get the diet right, get everything right, and then when we're ready to go, because 2021 girls wrestling is sanctioned in Florida, and that's going to be a big thing. And she's 14. We're still getting to those years, and that's come 16, 17, we're in it. So if she keeps up the same pace, and that's why I built the gym in the garage, and which is awesome. We'll go work out anytime we want. That's
awesome. Yeah, that tire thing was pretty cool, Izzy.
Oh, thank you. So that's actually not the one in our garage, by the way. That's actually at our local gym. I love that one. It's incredibly hard, but he killed me at the end of the workout. We did the road bike, which you can't even move. It's just stationary.
We try to do things at the end of the workout
that's very
that exhaust you, and
then I did 3 tire flips, and that's how we had
and because we always want to be one step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
I always tell her, if you can outwork the next person, you win the match, you get the job, whatever cliche you want to put on it.
Also, we have in our garage we have the battle rope, and we do that 20 seconds on, then 20 seconds off. So that's how we end up.
Do you guys have a favorite quote? I would say something that we say in our family and that we kind of live by. Do it right or don't do it at all. Do it right or don't do it all. And I've said that to Izzy since she was probably 7 years old. Do it right or don't do it at all. Like, meaning
he said it when it comes to a test, when it's me putting my clothes away, if I'm writing like the hot tag, yes, I do write out the hot tag. I don't have any shame. I want to make sure it's perfect and quality. But yeah, that's
really, it just means do it right or don't do it at all, because it like, man, put everything you got into it, or don't do it. Don't half-ass it, basically. Give it all you got and make sure it's right. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means, man, put 1,000% of your heart into it, and it will usually turn out right.
Is there any certain piece of advice that you would tell yourself back then when you first started? Now,
that's a tough one because I'm still learning. So
I think if I had I'm still training. I think if I had to go back and give Izzy advice, I think I would still prepare her the way I would, and her mom would prepare her the way she would. But I would tell her, not everybody's your friend.
Yeah.
And not everybody's got your back. And we've always said this, but realistically, not everybody cares about you. And there's going to be a lot of people, regardless of your age, regardless of your gender, they're going to try to push you down, hold you down, and just stay strong, stay true to yourself, and push past them, because those people, they're gonna be really regretting the fire that they live under you. And that's what I'd probably go back and say.
So to the ones that do support you, Izzy, what do you have to say to them?
Oh, man, this is me, and this is what I love. This is really what I want to do, and if you don't like it, that's your problem. You're gonna miss out. One day I'm gonna take your spot.
Nice.
You can post pictures of cats and that you want to eat donuts all day, but I'm really the hardest worker in the room.
Nice. Now, for the Damage fans out there that want to follow you, where can they go?
Woo! This is always my favorite part of the interview.
Nice.
So everybody can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and also Pro Wrestling Tees. Everything is Izzymania. Make sure you put in the it's. Everybody forgets it. And then on Twitter, I have my weekly show called The Hot Tag, which is based off of NXT. If you love NXT, it's just for you. But if you want to learn about NXT, it's also just for you. And then Pro Wrestling Tees, just look up Izzy, Izzymania. There's some nice shirts out there for you. But yeah, that's really it. That's where you can find me. Yes.
Nice. Now, how was Izzymania born? Before I let you go.
Oh, so
okay.
Oh,
You go.
So we were trying to go to NXT Takeover Brooklyn. He found 2 tickets. I said we're not going unless my mom is going, so we didn't go. But
I'm like, really? You're gonna miss this moment where Bailey's gonna win the title? I'm like, my gosh, who did I raise?
But in substitution, we got to meet Hulk Hogan.
So we threw like a big party, and I got her ticket to meet Hulk Hogan for the first time, which was awesome.
Yeah, and then
it was the day of Brooklyn Takeover.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was like, "Izzy." He was like, "Yeah, Izzymania, right away."
Izzymania, let's flex.
Yeah,
and he just kept saying Izzymania, and that was when everybody asked us on Twitter. People were DMing us, and on Twitter, Facebook, they're like, "Hey, can you put Izzy's reaction when Bailey wins the title?" And I hate reaction videos. Yeah. And I was like, "All right, we're gonna do it because this is a big moment. What the heck?" And so literally, we had all of our friends over, and everybody's got like their camera. It was like paparazzi in the room, and everybody recorded it, and it just went viral. And that's when I was like, "This is Izzymania," and Izzymania kind of stuck, and now it's a thing. So that's like our alter ego.
Yes.
Well, guys, I appreciate your time so much. July 13th on College Radio, MoncoRadio.com, where Music of Minds Meet. This will air. Podomatic.com, and also CompletelyDamaged.net. So, Cody and Izzy, you just been completely damaged.
Oh, yeah.
Completely damaged! Completely damaged!